What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Now in this video, we are going to be talking about the confusing story of the Mimic. Of course, I am your narrator, because who else is going to do it? My cat? No. So yeah, this is the confusing story of FNAF's Mimic. Now starting off, we have two different versions of the Mimic that we're going to be talking about. First is, of course, the original, and then the second will be the one where he's wearing the tiger costume. Now, let's get something straight here. The Mimic, for one, is definitely not William, because as you can see here, sure, William has the FNAF like 4 endoskeleton hand, but he's also got a sharp hand here. Yet, as you can see, sure, the Mimic also has the Nightmare Endo hand on the side, but on this side he doesn't have the same claws like William. So clearly they're not the same. Also, you can see right here, the feet are completely different. Same thing. Like the entire body is different from William, so clearly they are not the same. And they also have different eye colors as well. So yeah, clearly they are not the same person. Another thing is that this is Willie the Mimic cannot be this. This is our true Mimic. This is the old one that everyone thought was the real. That everyone thought Burntrap was a Mimic. He's not the Mimic. Let me get something straight here. The Mimic can only mimic voices. It cannot mimic the looks of animatronics. It can only mimic their voices. For instance, it cannot change its form to look like any other animatronic unless it destroys that animatronic and takes its parts for itself, which seems like it's done that to basically most animatronics. Like right here, you got the Nightmare Endo hand, and of course, in this area you got some sort of Endo hand, I'm guessing. And you also got this part right here. Most of his body is made out of like different types of animatronic parts. This is not a mimic. This is a mistake. Here is the true mimic. So yeah, let's skip some straight things there. They cannot take the form of animatronics, they can only do the voices of them. But there is something from the FNAF books, Tales from the Pizzaplex, where in Tiger Rock, turns out this Arctic tiger was thought is supposed to be the mimic. Though we can tell now that the books are, I'm pretty sure the books aren't canon, and also I don't know how he's going to fit this hand, this 5-fingered hand, into a 4-fingered hand. Yeah, so, again, we can just skip past that. But we do know that, of course, again, the very big resemblance is how, again, he has the exact same Nightmare Endo hand. And the Mimic has that same hand. And they also have a very similar, I guess, foot, I guess you could say. Also, the body type is very similar. It's not the exact same, like, chest, but it's very similar. And, of course, we got all the other stuff. Yeah, so clearly the Mimic, if it has been here the whole time, it's been tearing off animatronic parts from different types of animatronics, and this would also prove that the Nightmare animatronics may not be actual hallucinations. They might be real, because there's no other way that he could get an Endo 04 hand or a Nightmare Endo hand. Now, another theory people had was that Shadow Freddy, or Withered Shadow Freddy, was the Mimic. Now that is, again, the Mimic is not Withered Shadow Freddy or any of the Shadows. Because, one, the Mimic cannot turn into other animatronics. It can only do the voices, it can only mimic voices, not the looks. And if the Mimic was that, I'm sure Scott Cawthon wasn't trying to make Shadow Freddy a Mimic. So yeah, they are not the same. Now let's also talk about the other version of the Mimic, where he's wearing the costumes. Now, one small theory that I had is that these suits are the old suits that Henry and William used to work on, but then they scrapped them because they looked too horrifying, or because they just wanted to go work on animatronics. And same thing with the Mimic here, that they might have built some of the Mimic, but then they left it to go make Fredbear's. And so then the Mimic may have gotten possessed by something or someone, and now it just steals parts from other animatronics. And of course, These guys don't really have names as far as I know. I don't know why the elephant has nails, but yeah, these suits are weird. Now they also introduced in Ruin a couple new characters, along with Glamrock Bonnie, but who also you could clearly tell was destroyed by Monty, because Monty's has the three-fingered claws, including his thumb, but I doubt he claws out with his thumb. And all the scratch marks on Bonnie were 3 claws. And Vanny, one I doubt would have even been able to take down Glamour Bonnie, and also with a knife. Knives don't make that big of cuts. And also at the same time, it was not Vanny, it was Monty. All the people who think Monty didn't do it, there's too much evidence to it. It was Monty. He too jealous, and the company clearly says it out loud. Like, finally, now with Glamrock Bonnie gone, we can finally have Monty become much more famous than him, and possibly even more famous than Freddy. Monty, you deserve getting your legs chopped off. And now here comes the confusing part, because here they also included Mexes and Ruinborn Afton. Now there's a problem with these. Is that I have a small theory about Mexes, but I'll explain that in a minute. But how is Ruinborn here? They don't even appear in the game; they're just in the files. And also, if this is the case, how is Afton back? If he was taken by the blob, we clearly see for a couple seconds the blob is still alive, and William is nowhere to be seen. But let me explain this real quick. So, I do believe that Mexes might be Glitchtrap, and we all know that Glitchtrap is William Afton when he's stuck inside of the digital world. And it's a possibility that he might have been Mexes. Now, the only problem with this is, one, how did William get sent back to the digital world? And 2, why wouldn't he take on the Glitchtrap form, but instead takes on this form? Now, I'll explain that. Glitchtrap's form was merely the form that William took, because, of course, what else was he gonna do? Be Springtrap again? No. But this time, since he wanted a more stronger body, a body that, of course, was less human and would give him more special abilities. And now he has more humanoid-like hands, but now he can also float around and do much more stuff this way. And since he's still going after her child, in this suit, it's possible that Cassie could actually still damage him. But as Mexes, he's much more likely to overpower her. But now let's talk about. And yes, I know that William was taken by the blob. It's still, again, a possibility that he got transferred into the digital world. It's a possibility. And now let's talk about Ruinborn Afton. Now this guy, I don't even think he's supposed to be there. I doubt he's supposed to be here, because if this is what William is, then how in the heck did he turn into this? Because he can't shapeshift. He cannot shapeshift. The only thing that he can turn into is Jimmy Neutron or an old man. And this is not an old man, nor is it a Jimmy Neutron. This is like some evil Easter Bunny crowd. So I have to say, I don't think he's William. And even if it is, Scott, you better start explaining why William is back again. But yeah, that's all for this video. That was the confusing story of the Mimic. Like and subscribe for more videos. Comment down below what horror games I should do next, or horror videos I should react to. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.